حياكم الله مرة ثانية لمتل جير 5. انتم بين نبدأ نقول بسم الله. تاري ام بي كوين هذه ما بستخدمها. الحين سمعنا قلنا سمعنا هذا السولد ميتينج اركان الفورميشن. خلنا نسمع السولد.
So SALT 2 still hasn't gone into effect. That treaty was drawn up to limit not just the size of the US and Soviet Union's nuclear arsenals, but also their delivery systems. The whole deal. Just when we thought all those years of negotiations had paid off, somebody decides to invade Afghanistan. The timing couldn't have been worse. The president was in the middle of the SALT 2 talks back then. Maybe while you were busy trying to stop Peace Walker? I heard. President Ford was meeting with the General Secretary in Vladivostok. In his absence, the political brass in America detected what they didn't realize was false nuclear launch data from Peace Walker. And were on the verge of ordering a retaliatory nuclear strike. Call it a big idea. Humans aren't capable of destroying themselves. Turns out he never knew what humans are capable of. If that AI, the boss, hadn't found a way to stop the big data transmission, they probably would have gone ahead with the launch. Deterrence was revealed as the pipe dream it was. All thanks to you and her. The US-Soviet talks looked set to fall through. What happened in Nicaragua no doubt helped trigger a change of heart. But in the end, the time's define the politics. When you grab their tail, they turn and bite your hand.
Yep.
I first met you 20 years ago now. The place was Selenouyarsk in the Soviet Union. We were enemies. I was with the GRU. You were still fighting for America.
Yep, having to get 3.
Operation Snake Eater. Its objective, the assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home successful, they awarded you the title Big Boss. Your CO, Zero, sought to carry on the boss's will by covertly establishing his own organization.
هذا بخلي لو نزلنا تحت أفغانستان. خلينا نبدأ هيروز واي.
Farming villages in southern Vahan have been subjected to a strategic bombing campaign the past several weeks. The damage is spreading. It's part of the Soviet Scorched Earth operation aimed at wiping out the guerrillas. The target this time is the commander of the Spetsnaz detachment. He's been key to the operation's success. People say this guy's responsible for annihilating the Mujahideen at Smasi Laman, the Hamid fighters, overnight. He's a tough, experienced commander. Don't underestimate him. The order for my client in the west is to shoot on sight. They want him out of the picture for good. Sorry, boss. This one's purely business. Wet work. A hit on a commanding officer of the Soviet military. Nothing personal. We're only doing this because it gets us one step closer to our goal.
خلنا نسويها.
Mission accepted.
هنا.
Heading to Afghanistan.
High gear version, yes. Select body, D horse. ما عنده لبس. ما احتاج قناص. انا ودي اخذ درع. بس ما اتوقع اني بحتاج الدرع مرة. مسدس. بدي حق اوسلوت بس ابي منوم انا. عندي رشاش بس انه ينكب. عطني حق السبلاي. سموك ودي. ليه لا. اوه لا ما محتاج الصناديق دي كلها. سنيك ما احنا محتاجين الصناديق دي كلها وراك. خذ صندوق حق الديزرت. ممتاز. بس عندنا فولت ريكفري. صح الفولت ريكفري مو بايتم. تولز حلو معنا فولت ريكفري. بيج بوس عندنا احط واحد ثاني. يب عندنا ملابس اللي اخذناها. اوه لازم اخذها. للتكسيدو. لا هذه سنيكينج سوت. هذه مثل جير 3. هذه بدلة ضارب مثل جير 3. بلاك اوسيلوت. هذه مع سكارف. وهذه لو البس بالليل ما يشوفوني زين. مي بشينا. سولد سنيك. لحظة لا تقول لي ياب هذا سنيك حق جير 1. اصبر. ان اديشن نويز دامجز. اعطني هذه كويسة. ايت واتر شاك. عطنا هذه. هيدوير ما في شيء. يلا
Deploying.
يقولوا لي اذبح انا اقول لا بضمه معي. هذا ردي والله. A Hero's Way episode 3.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss,
هلا.
make your way to Shago Calais and eliminate the target.
طيب. وين وصلنا احنا بالكاسيت؟
I first deployed members from Operation Snake Eater. From America, there was David O.
اصبر.
Whereas he was to you, Major Eater, when you returned home successful. 1964, Operation Snake Eater. Its objective, the assassination of the legendary soldier known as the Boss. When you returned home
We can use compounds from plants to make medicine or poison for use in new weapons and equipment. Take a look at the plants list on your iDroid to see which ones we need.
طيب.
Then go find them if you get the chance. It'll keep the staff happy too.
Operation Snake Eater.
خلت قاطعني
From
تكفى.
America, there was David O. Whereas he was to you, Major Zero. Donald Anderson, aka Sigurd.
سكت.
Dr. Clark, who was
Paramedic.
a paramedic during the operation. And the fourth,
You.
you. From China, there was Eva. And me, Ocelot, from the Soviet Union.
6.
In total. To us, government notions of friend and foe were meaningless. As were East and West, we joined forces by our will alone. Our objective was to fulfill the boss's dying wish, to make the world one. And to do it, Zero used the Philosopher's Legacy, the secret war fund you obtained during Operation Snake Eater. This organization would go on to become Cypher. I, on the other hand, was left with a problem. You only recovered half of the legacy. I had to locate the other half myself. When I found the funds, I passed them on to Zero, just as you wanted. I still trusted him in those days.
You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
طيب.
Zero called in. You parted ways. As did Eva, leaving only Anderson and Clark still with him. I maintained limited contact.
هذا كويس.
Although truth be told, we were just keeping tabs on one another. The reason was always you. After you returned to the army and created Foxhound, you left America. For a time, even I'd lost track of you. And
Is that him?
Zero did too.
Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets.
Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's arteries make the world just one big organism. And that's not all. It also monitors the thorn in Zero's side. That's you, tracking your coordinates wherever you might go. The further you strayed from your roots, the larger Zero became. It's as if he was trying to close the gap between you. But before long, he disappeared from public life. Only a few people had direct contact with him. For a time, I was one of them. Then a year after you fell into your coma, he slipped out of sight entirely. Since then, nothing. No photos, no recordings, not even a reliable rumor as to his whereabouts. I tried every method I could think of, but Zero was gone. Freed of his control, his creation, his power continued to grow. Cypher is a great beast, and Zero was its spine. But even without it, it's endured, evolved. But now its body is rotting, riddled with parasites. Parasites like the ones who attacked you 9 years ago in the Caribbean, and then at the hospital. Cypher's Black Ops Unit, XOF. They learned where you were, and came to wipe the slate clean.
يب هذه الحين كذا باك ستوري. الحين جدعت هذه عشان يدوخون. هذا وانت بتيجي معي.
He's coming too. Roger that. That's the target. Target extracted. I'll tell the client they've been. Those materials have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base.
Okay. عندي ناخذ رشاش معي. ناخذ السيارة. اوه لا ما عندي. كيف خلاص. ممتاز. حصان تعال يلا يدي هورس يلا.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
ممتاز.
Exfiltrated hot zone.
You've made it out of the hot zone. No sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss.
Yes.
Development project has been added.
ساتر كل هذول جيت من اضافات.
Amazing. Mission complete.
على تعطوني كود نيم تشيكن. At Mother Base. Support helicopter
How are
enhancement.
you feeling, boss? Getting used to being in the field again? Having choppers and a horse at your disposal is indispensable for operating in the wilds of Afghanistan. I've gone ahead and arranged for you to be able to develop and customize weaponry for support choppers. And you can also develop new equipment for D-Horse if you like. Use your iDroid to start development as needed. Remember the guys you brought back from the base in Cuba 9 years ago? Believe it or not, some of them survived that hell we went through. Word reached them that Big Boss is back and they wanted in.
يب هذه عشان نقل تخزين جراوند زيروز.
They'll be glad to know you've seen them here.
هذه كلهم جو من جراوند زيروز. كويسين. عشان نظر شكل تفرق مع بين فانتوم بين. لو كنت لاعب فانتوم بين الحال وجراوند زيروز الحال، لان هذه شكلها على طول اوتوماتيك، شكلها انقلتها كل شيء.
Psyops list updated.
Boss, I know you haven't been back long, but I've prepared a list of missions for you. Open your iDroid.
Please specify a project.
اوبس في سيارة وراي.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
هنا.
Please select a mission.
Mission available. ما في side ops. لا هذه side ops. حلو. خلنا نسمع.
Christmas Eve, 1979. The Soviet Union rolled into Afghanistan. Muslims have revolted against the Soviet-friendly regime established the year before. The DRA forces could no longer contain it themselves, so the Soviets went in to intervene. The Afghan government was powerless and fraught with infighting. They lost the hearts and minds of the people, and that alarmed the Soviet leadership. With the Islamic Revolution happening in Iran, the Soviets felt they had to act fast or risk the spread of Islamic revivalism. A superpower, sending a motorized rifle division against men on horseback with antique rifles. Everyone thought it'd be over in an instant, only it wasn't. Some Muslims made their fight a jihad, a holy war, and began a guerrilla campaign on all fronts. A war of attrition. These fighters call themselves Mujahideen. They're being supported by the West in Pakistan. That's why Miller was involved. He was training them near the Zero Line, sponsored by the CIA. The war has become a nightmare for the Soviet troops stationed here. They thought they'd be headed home in 6 months at the most. Then a year passed. 2 years. Now here we are 4 years on with no exit in sight. Afghanistan has become the Soviet Union's Vietnam.
يا ساتر.
The Soviet troops on the ground want to go home, but at least they have homes to go back to. The Afghans have lost theirs. The Soviets destroy the kishlaks, villages, wherever they can. They burn down homes and fields, fill in wells, turn pastures into minefields. It's created a mass of refugees who fled to Pakistan. If the Mujahideen are fish swimming around the villages, the Soviets will go so far as to dry out their ocean. But this has had a big price. There's bitter resentment among the Afghans, and they're taking out their anger on the soldiers on the front lines. Among the Mujahideen are the Pashtun people. They're fiercely devoted to their code of Badal, or revenge. Soviets they've captured have had their hands, feet, and noses cut off before being left to die at the side of the road, just to show their comrades what they're capable of. Friendlies who come across them can do nothing but put them
كذا
out of
قاعد
their
يصير.
misery. Then they burn down another village in retaliation. And the cycle of vengeance goes on.
ساتر كذا قاعد يصير. The mist unit.
Kaz, what about the unit that attacked us in the mist? You knew something about them.
That wasn't my first run-in with them. It happened right before I was captured by the Soviets. We were on the Zero Line that day, the Afghan side, on our way back from training Mujahideen at a mountain camp in Kunar province. There's a lot of that work in Afghanistan. Most PFs shy away from it because it draws too much attention. But for us, that was the whole point. The job itself went great. We just had to make it back to a tribal area in Pakistan. But all of a sudden, visibility got real bad. It was no sandstorm. Our point man gave this strange report. He said he could see skulls in the mist.
Skulls?
The next moment, he went silent. We scrambled into formation, right before his arms and legs came raining down on us.
ساتر.
It was always supposed to be a dangerous mission, so I had Diamond Dog's very best with me. We were calling out to each other. One by one, the voices just went dead. Whatever happened to me, I lost consciousness before I knew it. When I came to, I was in a Soviet camp, tied to an interrogation chair.
Could they be some new Spetsnaz unit?
No. The
لا.
ones that interrogated me were just the average rank and file. Whatever group attacked us, the way they moved was just insane. That mist, appearing out of nowhere. The Soviets don't have tech like that.
لحظة بسكت الراديو. لأني خبرته سمعنا صوت الكلب، هذا نقدر نرجع دي داغ معنا. توي سامع.
That wild dog pup. He's a tough little guy. Boss,
I
there's
know.
no time to be playing with animals. What are you gonna do, boss?
هذاك حلو لك. هيك حليله. اقدر تقول لا.
We'll pick him up.
اسمع عليك. بزيادة لك يا ميلر إذا تتركه.
Left us either. Otherwise the folks at Langley would be sleeping a lot easier. Why'd they come after you?
Wish I knew. I'm the only one who survived. Though I don't think they planned it that way. If I was their target, they wouldn't have just handed me over to the 40th.
We found out there's an English-speaking soldier somewhere in the region. He's a language specialist. His role is to translate information related to the West into Russian. If we can get him to join us, we'll have the upper hand in information warfare.
Marker placed. Marker removed. Marker removed.
حلو. Exit tape can at mother
If you
base.
ever do run into them again, don't try to take them on. You just get the hell out of there.
When I first started dealing with Zero, with Cypher, it was a somewhat parasitic relationship, though a mutually beneficial one.
Cypher had no army of their own, so they wanted us. They wanted our strength. They approached me as a potential business partner.
But they had other motives.
Cypher coaxed us into Central America, into that US-Soviet proxy war, to fuel Mother Base's growth. Once we were big enough, they'd force us to join them. That was the plan.
That's why they had Paz, still Zeke.
Right. And if we refused, she would use Zeke to fire a nuke from Mother Base. The world would consider us a liability, and countries would unite to destroy us.
We stopped the launch.
And yet they still took us down. Through that fake inspection they orchestrated to cover up their sabotage. That power Cypher wanted. We don't have it anymore. So why are they still after you? Is it just the fear of leaving you alive?
I don't know. Was Zero really... All I know is the man I knew wouldn't want this.
What do you mean?
We have to consider that it might not be Zero we're dealing with.
We know virtually nothing about Cypher anymore. How big they've gotten, what they want, or even who they really are. The new Mother Base started out as a test drilling rig operated by a mineral resources supplier, but their project fell through. The Seychelles government was happy to hand the place over to us. It was just scrap on stilts. So with a few dummy construction companies set up as fronts, we started renovating the half-finished rig. From the outside, it looked like the project was back on rails.
Kaz, you...
What?
I see what you're doing.
Boss, that language specialist you extracted has been very cooperative. Says he's always dreamed of living a free life, like folks in the West. What are the odds, huh? I've gone ahead and placed him in the support
Please
unit.
select a mission.
His job is Russian interpretation. Now
Mission
you'll know what
accepted.
Soviet
Map
soldiers are
has been
saying.
updated.
You can even interrogate them. Should give you an edge in the mission.
كويس. راح نخلص المهم بدأنا هنا. نخلص واحدة أساسية.
That's right. The Mother Base Cypher thought they destroyed will return from the grave to kill them. We'll prove to the world that we were the victors.
And if we lose again?
They can't fool us the same way twice. Now our enemies are in plain sight. And when our organization gets too big, we split it across companies. Any company that draws attention gets liquidated, and its capital is back-channeled into a new company. Most PS...
Say, boss, you see many animals in the field. Truth is, an environmental NGO has asked us to remove wild animals from combat zones. If you have the time, can you extract some back here? There's a reward in it for us.
ميلر كمان قاطعني. اعتقد بقدر اشغل الحين كاسيت عشان ببدأ مهمة الحين. C2W ايش معنات هذه؟ الله اعلم. يلا الحين نحتري هذا يخلص. الساعات والله عاد طويلة صدق.
Disable the Soviets' reinforcement system by putting a hole in their base-to-base comms network. Head for the Eastern Communications Post and destroy its comms equipment. First, use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility.
هنا. يلا. لا تبدي مثلا لو بديت المهمة مثلا على طول ابدأ بدل ما اقعد اروح لمنطقة اروح لما بالذات عشان ابقى شغلة.
Any company that draws attention, most PFs are small-time operations anyway. And in this business, the minnows go bankrupt all the time. We've never aroused suspicion. Plus, we have Hewick.
Hewick?
Human Exploitation Company. It's a business specializing in intel gathering. Think of it as a civilian intelligence agency.
Cause that's...
Remember what they were trying to accomplish at the prison facility in Cuba? That gave me the idea. We dispatch moles into conflict zones around the world, and each sets up an intel network on site. Then they stay in place to give us stable points of contact when other nations intervene in the conflict. Hewick's strength is that it has a cutout at each level. One guy, then you hand it off to another. No one has direct access. It's a perfect black box. Hewick members also work their way into the superpowers intelligence agencies to make sure Diamond Dogs gets work. We have those countries by the balls. That's our deterrent when we need it.
Networking? In the intelligence community?
Sure, that's how we've grown this far. And when you go out on missions, intel from Hewick will be there to back you up.
والله انه ذكي ميلر.
Right on that. Cypher has its eyes on us. The only reason I'm not dead is that they needed to know where you were. Figured if you woke up, I'd go straight to you.
That's why you made that ruckus at the zero line.
Yeah, to make their own surveillance work against them. I think it took some of the heat off Cyprus.
Cause?
Then I just had to wait for you to save me. And I've gotten used to waiting.
Cause?
That's not all. It was a good chance to scout the market. And with
Only
the
could be
West
buying
pushing
cars.
Soviets out of Afghanistan, their agencies are bursting at the seams with funding. Boss, let's start by building up our Afghan presence.
Why put Mother Base in the Seychelles?
We're at the center of the world here.
We're all the way out in the Indian Ocean.
Come on. Lebanon, Sri Lanka, East Timor, and Africa. From here, our reach extends to conflict zones the world over, including Afghanistan, of course.
So it's prime real estate for a mercenary.
Exactly. Latin America isn't as close as I'd like, but we have Amanda and her people to help in that department. And besides,
أماندا
the
الحين عايشة
Seychelles
أجل.
owes us a favor.
Owes us.
The Seychelles has strong ties to the east, which the west wanted to shake out. They came to a head 3 years ago in an
So اصبر.
coup.
سوي ريستارت تشيك بوينت. خلنا نبدأ خلنا نعيد الحين.
Enter the Eastern Communications Post and destroy the target equipment. Its location is on your iDroid.
Why put Mother Base?
We're at the center. It was a force of South African mercenaries with U.S. backing behind the scenes. They were only platoon size, but South Africa is home to some heavy PFs. Too much for the Seychelles to handle. In the end, they accepted help from the Tanzanian army and quelled the coup. We set up the deal and handled on-site tactical instruction. That led to some training work for the Seychelles military. And when we put down a mutiny within their forces, well, we made a lot of people happy. They don't pay us. They just let us have a piece of their offshore
You made it. First, use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility.
We can only take Mother Base so far here. We'll have to find somewhere else when this place starts getting big.
Aren't you being a little hasty?
Nothing hasty about it. You're back with us now.
So, Cuz, the ship that took off.
That antenna is one of the targets.
Yeah.
There should be more. Keep looking.
خلا بسكتهم بسطة مهمة عشان اقدر اسمع يتكلمون.
Analysis complete.
That's an anti-air radar. It isn't one of the targets. But destroying it would shut down part of the enemy's air surveillance. That might make more landing zones available.
احتاج C4. احتاج C4 انا.
Please specify a project.
C4.
Please select a drop point. Supplies requested.
خبر فحت.
The best weapons for destroying the target.
The map has been
That's
updated.
another one of the
Supply drop
targets. Do
complete.
you see any more?
ميلر قطعة واصلت. حلو. ممتاز.
Analysis complete.
تعال أنت معي.
It's gotta mean something.
كلهم. ممتاز. الحين لقيت اثنين. اوبس. ممتاز.
A dumpster. Looks big enough to hide somebody. You could stash a downed enemy in there, or hide in it yourself. Just... explosives should take care of them well enough. How you do it is up to you.
حلو. أبغى الموسيقى ذي.
Transmitter is used to relay messages between outposts. Take it out and the mission's complete.
هذا. ممتاز. نرجع. ممتاز. يا عيني عليك يلا.
Explosives should take care of them well enough. How you do it is up to you. Good work. You've completed your objective. Now get out of the hot zone.
Get.
Update.
is worn out. That gun
I
will be
agree.
as loud as any other now. If you have to shoot, be careful.
محتاج تقولوا لي.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
الحين خلصنا مهمتين.
Exfiltrated hot zone.
You're out of the hot zone. No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete.
Yes.
All right. Mission complete, boss.
عبرايتهم غير يعطون الصوص. وش الوارز كسات تيبس.
Our army is growing like crazy thanks to you, boss. In fact, it's getting downright crowded around here. To bring a greater number of people on board, we'll need to expand our facilities.
يب الحين اقدر اطور المذر بيس.
Development unit. It has two roles: material refinement and platform construction. I'll start with the material refinement part. The base development unit procures material resources on a regular basis according to its level. The materials are stored in containers and placed on the deck of Mother Base. Once they're finished being processed, they can finally be put to use. By using these materials to build new platforms, we'll be able to add a greater number of staff to our ranks.
عارف
I
عارف.
don't need any specific instructions from you to refine the materials, but I want you to be the one to decide how we construct platforms. Once we have sufficient GMP and the required material resources, you can issue construction orders from your iDroid.
حلو. skip.
Prolonged time in the field is bad for the body and mind. I think it's time you took a break. Do it for me. Come back to Mother Base ASAP.
حلو. رجعوني اصلا على طول. اخبرك اذا قعدت فترة طويلة ما تخلص مهمات تصير لك ريحة، واذا جيت تشتغل دعاية اذا جيت كل ما قرأت واحد يصير خشمه عنك، ثم تشوف اوسلوت ماسك سطل المويه ويكبوا عليك. الظاهر الحين دعاية ديدي.
Didi, come back! Mitch. Here's the dog you brought back. Bit of a troublemaker. Not sure about the breed, though. He'll get bigger? Uh-huh. Like this. You know, I can look after him. He's still a pup, so he doesn't listen. I have a feeling someday he'll be useful. I suspect you discovered a real diamond in the rough. With a little polish, I'd say we got a true diamond dog on our hands.
Diamond dog. مسكين عين مفقعة. ناسي من ينوي بابا.
Hostile raising hounds. Fine. Come on, Didi.
حليله. وها الحين. يب. Base facility. Command platform.
Platform construction.
Boss, we've received a back channel request from Langley. We're to find a piece of new
Commencing
American military
platform
hardware that's gone
construction.
missing in the mountains of Afghanistan. It's a difficult
Commencing
mission,
platform
but I'd say you're back in
construction.
top form by now. Check your iDroid for the details.
Commencing platform construction.
باقيت لي مهمة بس عشان اخلصها بعدين اسوي هذه يا ميلر. خل نشوف شيء يمدينا نطورهن.
Please specify a project.
ادخل تروش. حلو.
Boss, welcome home.
شو اخبارك؟ والله تشكرني ترى ضربتك بوكس. من الاشياء الجميلة اللي حسيتها بعد فانتوم بين انك وانت من القاعدة تشوف قاعدتك حرفيا تكبر 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 تكبر. تبدا تبنى. بينما في صورك بس جايبين صورة من ورا. شيء. لحظة اصبر. يب الحين. هذه هي بس كانت تصير. اي
Analysis complete.
Thanks for that, boss.
هاي خدمة. الله يتم بكم بلاء. شكلي ببدأ اسمع اللي الوانهن الصفر لانهن الوحيدات اللي لها تأثير على القصة.
This war. The Kremlin never expected to have this much trouble against the Mujahideen. Afghanistan is a tribal society. Tradition demands that its people stand up to any outsiders who set foot on their land. With the honor of their people at stake, they have everything to fight for. No matter how hard the Soviets hit them, they continue to appear out of nowhere, striking back, then vanishing again. But there's one thing even the Mujahideen fear. Every last one of them. The Soviet gunships. They're highly maneuverable and equipped with massive firepower. Plus, the underside of the fuselage is heavily armored. The Mujahideen can barely scratch them with their small arms. Anyone who hangs around gets mowed down by the gunship's heavy machine guns. This new honeybee weapon that was given to the Hamid fighters is no doubt something to help them strike back against the gunships, which makes it a weapon that could change the course of the war. Those guerrilla fighters known as Mujahideen don't actually belong to a single organization. Afghanistan is a multi-ethnic country. You've got the Pashtuns, the Tajiks, Uzbeks, Hazaras, and each of them is split into their own tribes, large and small. Each ethnicity has several rebel organizations that gather under. They're united under the banner of jihad. That doesn't mean they work like a single standing army. Just look at the area around Smasi Fort. A lot of Tajiks used to live there. They fled after the Soviets started their scorched earth campaign. With the area uninhabited, the Hamid fighters who are Pashtun decided to...
حلو وقفت عند 40 ثانية الكاسيت تيب. يلا اللودينج. لا والله وضعنا زين يعني خلصنا مهمتين الحين باقي مهمتين خلصنا مهمة فرعية. الفرعية ما اتوقع بسويهن كلهن لان اكثرهن يشبهن بعض.
By connecting your iDroid to the onboard computer, you turn the chopper into your own Aerial Command Center, or ACC. Some elements of staff assignment and R&D of weapons and items can only be performed from there. Take as long as you need to consider all your options.
Those guerrilla fighters known as Afghanistan. They're united with the Hamids are based with the area uninhabited. The Hamid fighters who are Pashtun decided to move in. The Hamids are based out of the city of Peshawar. We passed through it on the western edge of Pakistan. The Pashtun people have long lived in Afghanistan and western Pakistan. They used to travel back and forth frequently. Then Britain went and established a border that still stands today. The Hamid fighters get generous support from the Pakistani government. The government wants to use them to secure influence over Afghanistan. Their liaison with the Hamids is Inter-Services Intelligence, and behind the ISI, you have the CIA. That's probably how the honeybee ended up in the hands of the Hamid men.
الهاني هذا ظهر رشاش، مو برشاش رشاش البازوكا.
Please select a mission.
extract engineer held. حلو، راح وقت مقطع شباب، يعطيكم الف عافيه، ان شاء الله يرجعنا. راح نخلص مهمات فرعيه الاساسيه زياده، ونخلصنا مهمات فرعيه اذا قدرنا. يلا كان معكم اخوكم عبد السلام، ومع السلامه.